By the 1980s, Vanga, who adopted the name Baba Vanga, had given thousands of accurate predictions and gained a reputation as the Nostradamus of the Balkans.
Can nature be tricked by an artificial womb? Researchers in Barcelona have created an artificial placenta prototype in the hopes it could help extremely premature babies.
2024 will be an eventful year, as predicted by the late Baba Vanga a long time ago. Nicknamed the Nostradamus of the Balkans, Vanga was believed to have visions of the future, and her prophecies were feared by many, given their track record of accuracy. Just before she died in 1996, she made some very intriguing yet terrifying predictions for 2024 that seem to be unfolding now, further shocking her believers and skeptics. From predictions of natural disasters of epic proportions to groundbreaking breakthroughs in healthcare, let's unveil one by one some of the terrifying realities that Baba Vanga predicted for 2024. Number 15. Secret biological weapons research. The first on our list is Baba Vanga's predictions of a powerful country conducting secret experiments with biological weapons in 2024. Even without a specific date given, the mere idea of a big country secretly testing biological weapons that could cause widespread death and chaos is scary. As we all know, biological weapons are one of the most frightening kinds of weapons because they spread invisibly and are almost impossible to fight against. What makes it even more scary is that the possibility of verifying if a country is really into this will be challenging because, in the first place, it is highly prohibited under the Biological Weapons Convention because of the very dire consequences it'll have. Biological weapons are basically weapons that spread deadly diseases to make people sick or even kill them off in huge numbers.
Now, what would happen if the world faces an even deadlier strain of unknown virus? Or worse, many more such viruses that lie hidden deep within the permafrost.
Just imagine if a country decided to use these kinds of weapons against its enemies or even its people. It would be horrifying. These weapons would also mess with the environment for a long time and will eventually kill animals, even in future generations. But the scariest part is that these weapons have the potential to start worldwide health emergencies and pandemics that cross every border. With how many people travel internationally, the diseases could spread like wildfire across multiple countries before anyone can stop them. Nations' health systems wouldn't be able to cope at all. Sadly, if one country used these terrible weapons, it could start an insane cycle of violence, with other countries retaliating with the same weapons or escalating to even worse warfare. Before you know it, the entire world could erupt into complete chaos and destruction. The consequences are way scarier than the predictions themselves, and we honestly hope it never happens because it'll be devastating. Number 14. Deadly strange disease. Next is Vanga's prophecy that there will be a worldwide pandemic or epidemic disease that will be much worse than the COVID-19 outbreak we saw in 2020. She foresaw this future disease as being deadly and spreading across the globe at a rapid pace, faster and more contagious than anything we've dealt with before. It's quite terrifying to find that in confirmation of her prediction, the World Health Organization, WHO, recently revealed that the world may soon be hit by another dangerous disease which they called Disease X. According to them, this particular disease is different, new and more deadly than the COVID-19 because very little is known about its pathology and there's currently no treatment, which pretty much sounds like a death sentence. There may be no medicines or vaccines to combat it. Now, that has got to be the most scary thing we've heard, because realistically, we haven't fully recovered from the damage COVID has caused. So, another disease that is worse than it sounds like doom. On the other hand, Vanga foresaw former US President Donald Trump contracting a mysterious illness that would lead to brain trauma, which would even make him deaf. But the idea of Trump, or anyone, suffering brain damage and permanently losing their hearing is quite disturbing to imagine. So again, we hope that her predictions don't become realities. Number 13. Assassination of Putin. This next prediction has got to be one of her most chilling predictions. Another of Baba Vanga's most controversial predictions revolves around the fate of Russian President Vladimir Putin. According to Vanga, Putin will be assassinated by one of his countrymen in 2024. This prediction has sparked numerous discussions and debates, especially given the current geopolitical climate and the increasing tensions between Russia and the West. While some people believe in the accuracy of Vanga's predictions, others remain skeptical, arguing that her prophecies are often vague and open to interpretation. However, the idea of an assassination attempt on a world leader is not entirely far-fetched, as history has shown us time and time again. If Vanga's prediction were to come true, it would undoubtedly have significant implications for Russia and the world. The question remains, who among Putin's countrymen would dare to carry out such a bold and dangerous act, and what would be their motivations? Would it be a political rival, a disgruntled military officer, or someone from Putin's inner circle? Number 12. Economic downturn in Europe.
Europe is facing a difficult task: bring down inflation, sustain economic growth, and maintain financial stability.
Buckle up, because things are about to get wild. This next prophecy is Europe at the receiving end of her predictions. According to Baba's predictions, Europe will face difficult times in 2024. Now suppose Baba's predictions turn out to be true. In that case, the coming years will be fascinating, as religious extremists are going to cause a lot of trouble across the continent, targeting both regular people and even political leaders. In addition, she always foresaw a massive shift in power throughout Europe. The old guard will make way for new leaders, and the continent's shape will change completely. The most scary thing is that all of this will drastically affect Europe's economy, which will collapse entirely due to pressure from different angles. This will be more bad news, as it could have far-reaching consequences, including the displacement of many Europeans from their homes, leading to a drastic drop in the continent's total population. Now, it's pretty interesting that her prediction about the economic suffering of Europe seemed to have been actualized, as Europe is currently dealing with some challenging financial issues. It's a complicated, fascinating situation when you look at all the different factors involved. One of the big problems is that trade is getting more fragmented, and supply chains are reshuffled. This is driving up costs for companies and holding back productivity growth, which is already weak in Europe. This fragmentation is likely going to put a big dent in the economy. On top of that, Europe's economy has experienced zero growth since the third quarter of 2022, and the situation has not improved. The Russian-Ukrainian tension isn't helping either, as trade flows have been messed up, and finding alternatives to Russian gas has been very expensive, further adding to the continent's economic burden. Number 11. Designer humans. This next prediction of science's ability to create customized humans made many people happily anticipate and worry about the implications and societal consequences. Baba Vanga's prediction of designer humans can be understood as the idea that by 2024, it may be possible to create human beings artificially in laboratories. This involves genetically engineering or designing babies with specific desired traits before their birth. There are a couple of ways this could theoretically occur based on advancements in reproductive technology and genetic science. Firstly, advancements in fertility treatments such as in vitro fertilization, IVF, combined with artificial womb technology, could allow for the complete designing of babies outside of the natural womb. This would enable parents to select specific genetic characteristics. Secondly, developing new genetic engineering tools like CRISPR has made it possible to edit genes precisely. This technology could be utilized to modify the DNA of embryos, thereby allowing for the engineering of traits such as intelligence, appearance, athletic ability, and more, even before the baby is born. While the idea of designer babies may sound like music to the ear, the concept of creating designer babies raises critical ethical questions, as people are worried that it could lead to practices like eugenics, discrimination, misuse, and even extremism, like in her next prediction. Number 10. End of natural births. Not stopping at her prediction of designer humans, Baba predicted that natural births will ultimately end this year, as humans will be completely reliant on laboratory babies. I agree that there is a possibility of humans tilting to science babies, especially after some successful attempts. However, we still have a long way to go in accepting it entirely, considering that the consequences, cons, and extent are unknown. Even if there were to be an agreement, it would take years or even forever for all humans to agree in unison. So, this projection seems unlikely to arrive. Keep those eyes glued to the screen because what's coming next will leave you on the edge of your seat. Number 9. Cyber attacks. Who would have thought that our reliance on technology and cyber power would put us in a vulnerable position with our safety in the balance? According to Baba Vanga's predictions, there is a forecasted increase in cyber attacks in 2024. She predicted hackers would become more adept and target critical infrastructure, including power grids and water treatment plants. These cyber attacks can cause widespread disruption and instability and endanger national security. Sadly, true to her predictions, in 2024, cyber attacks will be increasingly severe and complex as attackers have upgraded their tactics. One of the most concerning and prevalent developments is the rise of AI-driven social engineering attacks. Cybercriminals are leveraging artificial intelligence to create highly convincing scams that are difficult to detect, tricking unsuspecting victims into revealing sensitive information or granting access to their systems. Ransomware attacks have also become more frequent and targeted, with high-profile organizations often falling victim to these malicious campaigns. It's even worse because the increasing sophistication of these attacks makes them particularly challenging to prevent. The most scary thing is that criminals use zero-day exploits and advanced persistent threats, APTs, to perpetrate their evil, which could go undetected for a long time. Now imagine being under attack for a long time without knowing. That you agree with them will be catastrophic as you're at the mercy of these people, and they could decide to strike at any time. Our complete reliance on the Internet of Things technology makes it even more worrying, as these people could choose to hack into anything at any time, jeopardizing our safety. Crazy times we're in. Number 8. Unethical surveillance. Just when we thought cybercrime was the worst, she predicted that this year, there'd be a rise in unethical surveillance. Imagine your every move and activity being monitored via the technologies. The mere thought of it is chilling, because it'd mean there's no hiding place for anyone, and we're at the mercy of evil manipulators. The internet and technologies have made unethical surveillance much more accessible to pull off. Everything is so connected now, and technology has advanced to the extent that these digital devices can collect loads of personal data without permission. It's more disturbing because these surveillance folks have gotten pretty good at using all these advancements to their advantage. Surveillance technologies have advanced rapidly in recent years, with the rise of facial recognition systems, data collection, and artificial intelligence. While these technologies can have legitimate uses in enhancing security and public safety, their misuse or unethical application can lead to privacy violations and potential abuses of power. All that personal data of our digital footprints makes it much easier for those snoops to gather sensitive info without asking. And this on its own is a breach of our freedom, as when all this data is collected, there's a real risk of it being misused and used against us, which means that absolutely no one on Earth is safe from the grip of these wicked people. Now, sit tight because the plot twist is around the corner. Number 7. Cancer cure.
Let's talk about something a little more cheerful or hopeful. There has been a breakthrough in cancer cure. A clinical drug trial recently healed.
Hold on to your seats because the most anticipated moment in medical science is about to unfold. Should this next prediction of Baba Vanga happen, it'll be a huge plus to the health sector and a huge relief to humans at large, as this has been one of our most dreaded enemies. Baba Vanga predicted that by 2024, a cure to cancer will be found thanks to quantum computing. Though there have been reasonable achievements towards this direction, like immunotherapy, where the body's immune system is made to recognize and attack cancer cells. Targeted therapies, where the growth and survival of cancer cells are disrupted through specific molecular targets. Gene therapy. liquid biopsies, where circulating tumor DNA and other biomarkers in a patient's blood are analyzed to enable early detection, monitoring treatment response, and identifying potential drug targets. There's hope that with the ability of quantum computing to process vast amounts of data and perform complex calculations, it could potentially accelerate drug discovery, optimize treatment plans, and enhance our understanding of cancer biology, which will ultimately result in the discovery of a final cure to the monster called cancer. We can't wait for that to happen. Number 6. Severe climate change. Baba Vanga predicted that in 2024, there would be severe climate changes with devastating natural disasters like tsunamis, monsoons, hurricanes, and tornadoes. While it's essential to approach predictions with caution, it's clear that climate change is already affecting our world. Scientists agree that human activities like burning fossil fuels and cutting down forests are causing global warming, leading to various consequences. As the Earth heats up, ice caps melt, causing sea levels to rise and increasing the risk of coastal flooding. This can make tsunamis even more destructive. Changing weather patterns due to climate change can also make storms more intense. Warmer ocean temperatures fuel the formation of powerful hurricanes and tornadoes, which can bring heavy rainfall and strong winds, resulting in widespread damage and loss of life. There's a specific prophecy about a mega tsunami that will supposedly hit Asia.
26th of December 2004, a date etched in our memory. It was on this day that the world woke up to one of the deadliest natural disasters in recorded history.
And it is even said to be the most devastating one since 2004. The question her prediction didn't answer was exactly where in Asia the disaster will strike. She also said the Pacific Rim will experience a major earthquake. Of course, we know the devastation that'll be left in its wake. We have already witnessed the devastating impacts of these extreme weather events in recent years, and we know how catastrophic they were. So while Baba Vanga's prediction may seem unbelievable, exaggerated, or inaccurate, it's a wake-up call for us to take action to minimize the severity and frequency of extreme weather events. Number 5. Cure for Alzheimer's. This year is an excellent year for the health sector. In addition to Baba Vanga's prediction of a cure for cancer, she also predicted that a cure to the dreaded chronic disease, popularly known as Alzheimer's, would be found. Alzheimer's is one disease health practitioners have fought tooth and nail to find a cure to all to no avail. According to statistics, as of 2020, over 55 million people were living with dementia, and experts think that number could skyrocket to 78 million by 2030 and a whopping 139 million by 2050. What's even scarier is that Alzheimer's is a leading cause of death for seniors. In fact, in 2021, it was the 5th leading cause of death for people 65 and up. 1 in 3 seniors died with Alzheimer's or another form of dementia, which is more than breast cancer and prostate cancer deaths combined. And this number is not showing signs of reducing any time soon. Now, since it is a sickness that one can live with for a very long time, sometimes stretching to as long as 20 years, it takes a huge toll on the finances of the patients or their caregivers. We're talking of an average of $400,000, a considerable sum of money to spend on something without a cure. So when you look at all these statistics and the impact Alzheimer's is having on so many lives, finding a cure would be one of the best gifts to humanity. We do hope. Number 4. Solar storm Vanga also predicted that in 2024, we could experience the worst solar storm in history. Solar storms happen when the sun releases bursts of energy like electrical charges, magnetic fields, and radiation out into space. Most of the time, these storms don't affect us much here. But Vanga's prophecy suggests this particular storm in 2024 could be so massive and powerful that it may have severe consequences for our modern way of life. Imagine if the storm was strong enough to disrupt our technology and electrical systems. It could cause widespread blackouts across large regions as the electrical grids get fried by solar radiation. And if the damage was bad enough to last for a while, that's where things could get chaotic. Think about our dependence on power and technology for everything: working, communicating, banking, and entertainment. If that all suddenly goes down for an extended period, It could create many problems and turmoil in society as people panic about not having access to necessities. Number 3. Change in Earth orbit. The Earth orbits around the Sun in an oval-shaped path called an elliptical orbit. On average, the world is about 93 million miles from the Sun. This precise distance, combined with the gravitational pull between the two objects, keeps the Earth steadily orbiting the Sun year after year. Now, if something were to significantly disrupt or alter Earth's normal orbital path around the Sun, it would have enormous consequences for our planet and all its living things. The distance between the world and the Sun determines how much sunlight we get. So if the Earth somehow got pushed closer to the Sun, it would absorb much more of the Sun's scorching energy and heat up dramatically. This intense warming could make global warming worse. That's not all. This orbital change would also mess up the weather, resulting in extraordinary and extreme weather events like a mix-up in the rain and snow patterns, increased storms and droughts, and difficulty forecasting. Not stopping there, this would ultimately result in a rise in sea levels, as the gravity from the Sun would affect the oceans differently, which could cause severe and unpredictable floods in coastal areas. Number 2. Alien visitation. Baba Vanga also prophesied that humanity would make first contact with alien life in 2024. While such predictions should be viewed skeptically, recent developments have lent credibility to her claim. NASA and the Mexican government released UFO information, which has reignited interest in Vanga's prophecy. More intriguing, top experts like astrophysicists and astronauts have hinted that a groundbreaking scientific paper providing strong evidence of biological signatures in an exoplanet's atmosphere could emerge soon. Specifically, they suggest this potential discovery may involve detecting combinations of gases like methane and oxygen or methane and carbon dioxide, combinations that indicate conditions conducive to life. The elite James Webb Space Telescope has been central to these exoplanet observations. One promising candidate is K218b, an exoplanet 8.6 times more massive than Earth with potential oceans and an atmosphere rich in hydrogen mixed with dimethyl sulfide, a molecule associated with life on Earth. While NASA hasn't confirmed any revolutionary findings yet, evidence uncovered by JWST could lead to the first conclusive identification of biosignatures revealing habitable exoplanets and alien life, precisely what the late Baba Vanga foretold would occur in 2024. Number 1. Increase in use of AI. According to Vanga, AI will become increasingly prevalent in various aspects of our lives, from healthcare and education to transportation and entertainment. At the moment, it is evident that AI is already playing a significant role in shaping our world. From virtual assistants like Siri and Alexa to self-driving cars and personalized medicine, AI transforms how we live, work, and interact with technology. The question is, what is the extent of integration, and what would be its consequence? The rapid advancements in AI technology suggest that Vanga's prediction may not be far from reality. With the increasing availability of big data, powerful computing resources, and sophisticated algorithms, AI systems are becoming more intelligent, efficient, and autonomous. This could lead to breakthroughs in healthcare, where AI-powered diagnostic tools and personalized treatments could revolutionize patient care. On the other hand, the widespread adoption of AI also raises concerns about privacy, security, and the ethical implications of relying on machines to make critical decisions. As AI becomes more deeply embedded in our lives, it is crucial to ensure that the technology is developed and used responsibly, with appropriate safeguards to protect individual rights and prevent unintended consequences. Moreover, the surge in AI use could profoundly affect the job market as machines increasingly take over tasks previously performed by humans. While some experts predict that AI will create new job opportunities, others worry about the potential for widespread job displacement and the need for workers to adapt to a rapidly changing employment landscape. Nostradamus's book, La Propheus, was published in 1555. In the book he wrote, "In the year 2024, there will be a massive earthquake off the coast of Japan, causing a destructive tsunami that would destroy homes and claim many lives."
Nostradamus warns of a very great famine through pestiferous wave, which could indicate tsunamis devastating agricultural lands.
The accuracy of his prediction is remarkable, leaving many of us in disbelief. But to understand the life of Nostradamus, we need to delve into his thirst for knowledge and his concerns about potential conflicts with the Church. Nostradamus was born Michel de Nostradam on December 14th or 21, 1503, in the south of France in Saint-Rémy de Provence. He was one of 9 children born to Rainière de Saint-Rémy and her husband Jaume de Nostradam, a well-to-do grain dealer and part-time notary of Jewish descent. Nostradam's grandfather, Guy Gassonnet, had converted to Catholicism a half-century earlier and changed the family name to Nostradam to avoid persecution during the Inquisition. Little is known of his childhood, but evidence indicates he was very intelligent as he quickly advanced through school. Early in his life, he was tutored by his maternal grandfather, Jean de Saint-Rémy, who saw great intellect and potential in his grandson. Young Nostradam was taught the rudiments of Latin, Greek, Hebrew, and mathematics during this time. His exposure to astrology and Jewish traditions from his grandfather laid the foundation for his later prophetic work. But do you think his early life laid a foundation for his prophetic declarations? At 14, Nostradam entered the University of Avignon to study medicine. However, he was forced to leave after only 1 year due to an outbreak of the bubonic plague. According to his account, he traveled throughout the countryside, researching herbal remedies and working as an apothecary.
Nostradamus lived in the 1500s, a time of plagues and disease when the occult and astrology were part of everyday life. For years, he worked as a plague doctor and earned a bit of celebrity status for providing herbal remedies that seemed to, at least, help some of the infected.
In 1522, he entered the University of Montpellier to complete his doctorate in medicine. He sometimes expressed dissension with the teachings of the Catholic priests, who dismissed his notions of astrology. There are some reports that university officials discovered his previous experience as an apothecary and used this as a reason to expel him from school. The school took a dim view of anyone involved in what was considered a manual trade. However, most accounts state he was not expelled and received a medical license in 1525. At this time, he Latinized his name as was the custom of many medieval academics from Nostradam to Nostradamus. Over the next several years, Nostradamus traveled throughout France and Italy, treating victims of the plague. There was no known remedy at the time. Most doctors relied on potions made of mercury and the practice of bloodletting and dressing patients in garlic-soaked robes. Nostradamus developed some very progressive methods for dealing with the plague. He didn't bleed his patients, instead practicing effective hygiene and encouraging the removal of the infected corpses from city streets. He became known for creating a rose pill, an herbal lozenge made of rose hips, rich in vitamin C, that provided some relief for patients with mild plague cases. His cure rate was impressive, though much can be attributed to keeping his patients clean, administering low-fat diets, and providing plenty of fresh air. In time, Nostradamus found himself somewhat of a local celebrity for his treatments and received financial support from many of the citizens of Provence. In 1531, he was invited to work with a leading scholar of the time, Jules César Scaliger, in Agen, in southwestern France. There, he married and, in the next few years, had 2 children. In 1534, his wife and children died, presumably of the plague, while he was traveling on a medical mission to Italy. Not being able to save his wife and children caused him to fall out of favor in the community and with his patron, Scaliger. As Nostradamus tirelessly worked to combat the plague, little did he know that his experiences would shape his future as a renowned seer, guiding him toward writing enigmatic prophecies that would captivate the world. So what hidden knowledge did he acquire during his medical endeavors that would weave into his mystical predictions? Keep watching to find out. So how did the prophecies of Nostradamus start? Nostradamus's predictions tended to be about general types of events, like natural disasters and conflict-related events that tend to occur regularly as time goes on. Some people believe that his prophecies have predicted actual events, such as the death of Henry II, the French Revolution, the rise of Napoleon, the rise of Adolf Hitler, and the 9/11 attacks. By 1554, Nostradamus's visions had become an integral part of his works in the almanacs, and he decided to channel all his energies into a massive opus he initially titled Centuries. He planned to write 10 volumes containing 100 predictions forecasting the next 2,000 years. In 1555, he released his most famous work, Les Prophéties. The Les Prophéties prophecies were written cryptically and vaguely, challenging the interpretation and identification of specific events. Nostradamus's predictions focused on general events that commonly occur over time, such as natural disasters and conflicts. Some believe that his prophecies have accurately foretold significant historical events, including the death of Henry II, the French Revolution, the rise of Napoleon, the rise of Adolf Hitler, and the 9/11 attacks. However, there is a divided opinion on the accuracy and significance of Nostradamus's predictions. Skeptics argue that the vague and ambiguous nature of the prophecies allows for retroactive interpretation, where one can seemingly match any event to a prophecy. They suggest that people may unintentionally find connections due to Nostradamus's writings' wide range of general events. Nevertheless, the uniqueness of Nostradamus's predictions lies in their engraved popularity in historical records and popular culture. Despite the controversy surrounding their accuracy, they continue to intrigue and captivate the public. Nostradamus's ambitions extended beyond Les Prophéties. In 1554, he planned to write a grand opus titled Centuries, consisting of 10 volumes containing 100 predictions forecasting the next 2,000 years. However, only the first volume was completed and published during his lifetime. It is unclear why Nostradamus could not complete the remaining volumes of the Centuries. Some suggest that his busy life as a physician, dealing with various social and political challenges, may have hindered his progress. Additionally, Nostradamus faced criticism from religious authorities who deemed his prophecies occult and believed he was operating outside of acceptable norms. Despite the unfinished state of the Centuries, the first volume of Les Prophéties achieved significant recognition and popularity, catapulting Nostradamus to fame during his lifetime. His prophecies captivated many people and attempted to interpret their meanings and connections to historical events. The significance of Nostradamus's unfinished opus lies in his continued fascination with his prophecies and their influence on popular culture. Even though the complete vision of the Centuries remains unrealized, the impact of Nostradamus's work has endured throughout the centuries. His prophecies have been interpreted and reinterpreted by numerous individuals, scholars, and enthusiasts, attempting to unlock the secrets within his verses and connect them to contemporary events. Now that we have shown you how the predictions of Nostradamus started, let us take a look at some of the predictions that have come to pass so far. One such prophecy is believed by some to be about the Great Fire of London in 1666. Nostradamus wrote in Century 2, Quatrain 51, "The blood of the just will be demanded of London, burnt by the fire in the year 66. The ancient lady will fall from her high place, and many of the same sect will be killed." Interpreters suggest that the blood of the just refers to the many deaths caused by the fire. London burnt by fire in the year 66 inches is seen as a reference to the Great Fire of London that occurred in 1666. The ancient lady is interpreted as the City of London, often symbolized by a woman, and many of the same sect will be killed, is thought to refer to the religious strife that followed the fire. It's important to note that interpretations of Nostradamus's writings are highly subjective, and many scholars and skeptics argue that his quatrains are often vague and can be applied to various events after they occur rather than predicting them. Therefore, while intriguing, the connection between this prophecy and the Great Fire of London should be viewed skeptically. But we cannot deny the obvious connection between Nostradamus's prediction and the actual occurrence of the Great Fire. But that's not all. When we thought it couldn't be more terrifying, Nostradamus predicted what happened in Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Within 2 cities, Nostradamus wrote, "There will be scourges, the like of which was never seen." That description would certainly apply to what occurred in the Japanese cities of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, which were devastated by atomic bombs at the end of World War II. Those who escaped immediate detonation suffered painful radiation poisoning, and many died. A stone in the tree in Nostradamus's quatrain could describe the shape of the mushroom cloud that engulfed the sky above the city. It could also mean a land-bound object, like a stone and a bomb, paradoxically appearing where it shouldn't, a tree or the sky. The quatrain paints an increasingly bleak picture, foretelling famine within plague, potentially a reference to radiation sickness and the lasting disruption of war, and people put out by steel, which may point to the planes that dropped the bombs. Of course, this may be Nostradamus talking about a literal plague affecting any potential cities, given that the man himself had first-hand experience treating plague patients. But again, it depends on how much you want to believe. So what are predictions for this year according to Nostradamus? Buckle up, because we're about to get into what will happen this year, so you might want to stick back and pay close attention. 2024 has started as a very unpredictable year, and we are positive that some of Nostradamus's predictions for this year will come to pass. The first prophecy for this year is, the dry earth will grow more parched, and there will be great floods when it is seen. The astrologer warned that climatic changes will continue to wreak havoc on us. The mention of the earth growing more parched could refer to the increasing aridity in many regions due to rising temperatures and changing weather patterns. Likewise, the prediction of great floods could be seen as a reference to extreme weather events, including hurricanes, typhoons, and heavy rainfall that are becoming more frequent and severe due to global warming. These events can lead to devastating flooding, displacing communities, and causing widespread damage. In today's world, where the effects of climate change are becoming increasingly evident, this prophecy could be interpreted as a warning about the urgent need to address environmental issues and reduce greenhouse gas emissions to mitigate the impact of climate change. The prophecy continues with Nostradamus stating, "No abbots, monks, no novices to learn. Honey costs far more than candle wax. So high the price of wheat, that man is stirred, his fellow man to eat. In his despair, there will be a significant decline in the finances of the prosperous countries. Social unrest will tear apart the country. People would resort to farming and migrate to other regions with more water. It's better to be prepared than to cry at that time. Conflicts will arise between states as they fight over water, but that is just one of the many prophecies for this year." Another prophecy by Nostradamus states, "This year, the health of Vladimir Putin will be under threat. This Russian leader will suffer health issues and it will be a turbulent year for him." According to Nostradamus this year, Putin will face significant health challenges, leading to a turbulent time for him. However, it is important to note that Nostradamus's prophecies are often cryptic and open to interpretation, lacking specific details regarding the exact nature, timing, or severity of the health issues Putin may encounter. The prediction also mentions a diabolical successor, born under the same Chinese zodiac sign. Someone close to Putin would exploit this situation. He will try to seize power from the hands of Putin nationally and internationally. It will be affected. The person who will do such an act will be a close confidant of Putin. The change in leadership will lead to a destabilizing environment. Another disturbing prophecy by Nostradamus for this year is the change in the world economy. He says, "As wealth and power begin to sway, doubt in leaders, currencies assay in search of answers, a changing trend, new horizons back in around the bend." The prophecy suggests a significant change in the world economy, with a shift in wealth and power, leading to uncertainty in leadership and currencies seeking stability and direction. According to Nostradamus, India will emerge as a key player in reshaping the global geopolitical and financial landscape in 2024. This prophecy aligns with India's growing economic influence and potential on the world stage. With its large and diverse economy, rapidly growing population, and increasing strategic importance, India has the potential to become a major player in shaping global economic trends and policies. Several factors contribute to India's potential to reshape the global landscape 2024. The country's demographic dividend, with a young and dynamic population, presents a significant economic growth and innovation opportunity. India's ongoing economic reforms, infrastructure development, and emphasis on digital technologies also position it as a key player in the global economy. Just when you thought you'd seen it all, we still have the most intriguing prediction of Nostradamus, which is the existence of extraterrestrial civilization. In his quatrains and writings, Nostradamus alludes to possible contact with beings from other planets or dimensions. Some interpreters believe his references to beings from the sky and strange crafts could indicate encounters with extraterrestrial life forms. These interpretations have sparked speculation and debate among those who study Nostradamus's works and the phenomenon of extraterrestrial life. One of the most cited passages that is often associated with the idea of extraterrestrial civilization in Nostradamus's prophecies is Century 2, Quatrain 30, which reads, "When the great pontiff changes his abode, and the entire world is in commotion, far away from Rome, people of all ranks will be against him." While this quatrain does not explicitly mention extraterrestrial life, some believers in Nostradamus's prophecies interpret the references to a great pontiff and people being far away from Rome as symbolic descriptions of an otherworldly encounter or cosmic event. Before we dive deeper, let's rewind to address some important quotes by Nostradamus that relate to the prophecies to pass in 2024. Two significant quotes, one relating to a naval year and another about the King of the Isles, have sparked considerable interest and speculation. Nostradamus predicted a naval year in 2024, describing red adversaries growing pale with fear and instilling dread in the great ocean. This quote has generated speculation that it may point towards an impending conflict, specifically an attack on Taiwan by China. The association with red adversaries aligns with China's flag being red. Considering the rising tensions in the region, this prediction raises concerns regarding potential military confrontations and their impact on global stability. He also predicted that the King of the Isles would not remain in power for too long. He then says, "A new king shall be anointed who for a long time will appease the earth." Many interpret the King of the Isles as referencing King Charles III. Consequently, there is anticipation that Charles will face personal attacks due to his relationship with Camilla, stemming from the controversy surrounding Princess Diana. The quote implies that Charles may ascend to the throne, but might face challenges and a potentially short reign. The mention of a new king fostering global peace raises questions about the actions and leadership of future monarchs. Nostradamus's prediction of the Queen's death reflects his prophecy's accuracy and potential importance. It raises curiosity about the precision and validity of his other predictions, including those related to global events and personalities. Moving beyond geopolitical and royal matters, the note touches upon Pope Francis, the current religious head of the Catholics. Nostradamus's prophecy hints at the possibility of his replacement by someone else. However, no specific details are provided to discern this potential succession's timing, circumstances, or implications. Nevertheless, the mention of Pope Francis adds another layer of intrigue and invites further exploration into the future of religious leadership within the Catholic Church. Nostradamus then says, "Through the death of a very old pontiff, a Roman of good age will be elected of him. It will be said that he weakens his see, but long will he sit in biting activity. A younger pope would take the possession, and there could be a potential reduction in power. We might enter into a period of decline of the Catholic Church's power." This has piqued a lot of curiosity, because it reminds us of St. Malachi's prophecy of the last pope. Despite facing criticism for his predictions, Nostradamus remained steadfast in his beliefs. He continued pursuing what he thought was right, leaving behind a legacy that has intrigued scholars and enthusiasts for centuries. In 1566, he passed away, but his cryptic verses remain, challenging readers to decipher their meaning and uncover the secrets of the future. Interpreting Nostradamus's writings presents numerous challenges. His verses are open to a wide range of interpretations, leading to debates among scholars and believers. While many view him as a visionary, others dismiss his predictions as mere products of imagination. The question of belief in Nostradamus's predictions remains a personal one. Some believe wholeheartedly in his prophecies, seeing them as glimpses into the future. Others remain skeptical, attributing the similarities between his predictions and historical events to coincidence. Ultimately, the truth of Nostradamus's predictions can only be revealed with time. Whether his prophecies will pass this year or in the future is uncertain. However, by examining past events and comparing them to his predictions, we may better understand the man and his work. Nostradamus's prophecies challenge us to decipher the hidden meanings in his verses to capture a glimpse of the future. Through his words, he has intertwined the deaths of notable figures and the looming threat of natural and man-made disasters. These prophecies have fascinated and startled people throughout history, igniting passionate discussions and evoking a mix of hope and fear. Understanding the true essence of Nostradamus's mystical insights allows us to glimpse what lies ahead, serving as a guiding light through the complexities of life. Nostradamus's predictions persistently resonate as we move through time, reminding us of the mystery that connects the past, present, and enigmatic future. The recent earthquake in Ishikawa, Japan, stands as a testament to the prophetic vision of this extraordinary French astrologer.